Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Summer here to talk about lesson 203, ionic compounds, names to formula. The objective for today is you will be able to write the formula of an ionic compound given the name. If you remember, fixed versus variable charges. Make sure you have these charges written on your periodic table. So group 1 plus 1, group 2 plus 2, over here, plus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Okay? Silver will have a plus 1 charge, cadmium will have a plus 2, and zinc will have a plus 2. All the rest of the transition metals will have a variable charges. So fixed charge, elements that always have the same charge. Variable charged ions, elements that can have a different charge depending on what it bonds with. So charge of ionic compounds. The charge of an ionic compound is always 0. So using the charge and the number of ions, you can calculate the charge of the compound. So for example, barium iodide, Bai2. You multiply the charge by the number of ions. Add the totals together to find the charge of the compound. So given the name written, write the formula. For rule number 1, write the symbol in charge of the first ion, the cation. Look at the periodic table for the charge. If it's variable, use the Roman numeral. Rule number 2, write the symbol in charge of the second anion using the periodic table. Rule 3, the sum of the charges must equal 0. So do the charges add up to 0? Yes. The chart here for Al plus 3 and minus 3, and you write the formula AlN. But here for NO, crisscross applesauce. So the charges don't add up. Not NO, I'm sorry, that was just the word no. It's Monday. We crossed down the charges. So we are going to write the charge Mg2 plus, and then Cl minus 1, crisscross, and then we drop the sign, GCl2. So for calcium chloride, rule, write the symbol in charge of the first ion, then look at the periodic table for the charge. If it's variable charge, use the Roman numeral. So we're going to use that. So for calcium chloride, calcium, the symbol is Ca, and then the charge of calcium is 2 plus. So rule 2, write the symbol in charge of the second ion, the anion, using the periodic table. So Cl minus. Rule 3, the sum of all charges must equal 0. We'll do the sum of the charges equals 0 on these, 2 plus, and then minus 1. No, they don't. So we're going to crisscross applesauce. So we're going to write it Ca2 plus, Cl minus 1, crisscross them, goes here, so we're left with Ca, and then since we don't need to write the 1 because it's implied, Cl2. So that 2 down here came from the calcium ion charge. Here's an example, like the example written cleaner than my own handwriting. So here's one, tin 4 oxide. So we need to write the symbol and the charge of the first ion, the cation. So the first is tin, so tin is Sn, and then plus 4, because we get that plus 4 from the Roman numeral 4. And then oxide is minus 2. So we're going to Sn 4 plus, O2 minus, we're going to crisscross, and we're left with SN2 SO4. But that's not in the simplest terms. And remember, ionic compounds are in the lowest ratio possible. So it's actually going to be SnO2, because that is the lowest possible ratio that we can put in. So another, the key and nicer handwriting.